There once was a man named Gold Roger who was king of the pirates. He had fame, power, and wealth beyond your wildest dreams. Before they hung him from the gallows, these were the final words he said.
Our perspective is yours for the taking, but you'll have to join us first. We left everything we debated at the Yonko table.
Ever since, pirates from all over the world set sail for the Grand Line, searching for the Yonko table, the table that will make their dreams come true. Yo, everyone. That is the voice of your Yonko host, DrJaceAttorney, and we're jumping into the world of Disney. We're a little late on this one, but better late than never. We're coming in with Strange World. Strange World is Disney's 61st animated film, which is crazy. There's a lot of animation in Disney's history, but this film came out in November of 2023. I'm sorry, of 2022, and not a lot of people went to go see it. It's very interesting. It did not do that well in the box office, but we'll give you the nitty-gritty as we deep dive Strange World, because we have a lot to say, both good and bad for the movie. No, there's not too much bad, but still. With me, as always, is fellow Yonko Grandmaster Hoop. Grandmaster, I remember in the chat you were saying you were a Strange World stan. Does that still hold true even to this day as we record for this?
I never said that.
You're not a Strange World stan.
Not a stan, no.
Lies.
I never said I was a stan.
Wow. Weren't you the one in the chat that was saying, guys, you gotta go and watch Strange World in theaters?
No, not me.
Interesting. Wow. So I'm guessing you did not like Strange World at all.
It's serviceable. I don't think this movie, for me, had any wow factors. I was not wowed by this movie as much as not that I go into high of expectations for Disney animated features, but I have a bar for sure, given how some of these other movies have left me. This movie didn't really wow me. It's good. It's just not great. I don't think this one will be memorable. I don't think this one will be memorable at all. I really don't.
Wow.
I really don't.
We have some supernovas that may disagree with you.
I just think it's here. It's here. It's just there.
It just exists.
Yeah.
Did you watch the movie once or more than once?
I watched it twice. I watched it first in theaters.
Interesting.
My family's big on the Thanksgiving Disney film. Okay. So I watched it in theaters, and then I watched it today, actually. So I've seen it twice. And I was like, all right, let me see if this second go around makes me feel any different. Nope. Doesn't.
Wow. Interesting.
Nope.
Okay. Interesting. We will deep dive your thoughts, I'm sure, as we go on. But we are not alone in this endeavor. We have supernovas here to join us today with Strange World. And let's get into it. So, Strange World, as we mentioned earlier, Disney's 61st animated film. Their last film was what? Encanto last year, right? In November?
Walt
Disney
Encanto.
Animation.
Yes, Encanto.
Walt Disney Animation.
Yes, Encanto. I keep forgetting Encanto did not come out in 2022.
Yeah,
Encanto came out in
we
2021.
covered it in 2022, I think.
That's because it dropped on Disney Plus in 2022, so it became more accessible to people. Same thing with this film. We were really only covering this film now because it is now on Disney Plus, and more people have now seen this film on Disney Plus versus in theaters. Same thing happened with Encanto.
Right. And I don't think, even though more people are seeing this film now on Disney Plus, I don't think it has the same effect that Encanto did. Because once Encanto hit Disney Plus, that's when, the music hit TikTok, your social media platforms, and it blew up. You could not take two steps without hearing that.
We don't talk about Bruno.
We don't talk about Bruno. You could not escape it. It was everywhere. But with Walt Disney Animation, typically from how I've seen it, they kind of go by like a pattern. They do one musical film, and then they do just an adventure film, and they practically go back and forth between them. That's how I've seen it most of the time. Maybe there was some exception here and there, but that's how I've seen Walt Disney Animation release their films.
I think that's pretty fair. Shoot, I actually never gone down the line of kind of musical adventure. I think that's pretty.
So like before
You
this,
could argue
Encanto,
that. Before this Encanto,
Raya,
right, which is an adventure. Yeah, before Raya, it's Frozen 2
musical.
Before Frozen
that,
2, it's Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Adventure
Before Ralph Breaks the Internet. I think 2017. I don't think there was anything in 2017. I think before that it must have been Moana in 2016, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Because you know why? You know how I know this? I know this because
explain yourself.
November is kind of Disney's slot for their animated pictures. They gave it to Pixar in November. Guess what came out in November 2017?
Of 2017, Pixar.
Which was musical-esque.
Oh, Soul? Ew.
No, not Soul. No.
Soul was 2021.
Pixar?
Okay, Soul's not a musical. Soul is music based, but in 2017, another Pixar musical-esque film came out. You're forgetting it.
Must have been forgettable.
No, it wasn't.
Remind me.
Coco.
Remind me. Remember me.
Coco came out in November 2017. So I don't think Disney they didn't want anything going up against Coco. So I think Coco had that slot, and that was it for November 2017.
Yeah, there's a gap in 2017 in their lineup. Look at it now. Moana was in 2016.
Well, yeah, and then before Moana, Zootopia. So it kind of does fit what you're saying, kind of musical adventure. I think there's some gaps to that, but for the most part, that's what it is.
Right. And I think because of that, Strange World was never going to take off the same way Encanto did, because people just gravitate more towards the music generally, and you could do so many things with music and make it viral and whatever. With Strange World, all it's really going to have is the adventure. So with that being said, with Strange World, what did you think overall? We kind of got a taste of what you thought. You said it was mid, but
I did not say mid.
You said it was mid. You said it was mid without saying mid.
If y'all want to lump all these things under mid, by all means, I guess you can.
Mid doesn't have to be bad. I mean, mid can be just average.
Correct.
It depends on your definition of mid.
My definition of mid is very much mid. It's in the middle. This film probably teeters a little bit away from the middle, but it's too close for comfort.
Wow, interesting. Yes. You're gonna piss off a lot of people.
I don't think so. I don't see the masses flooding. This movie is the #1 movie on Disney Plus right now, and yet I just showed this film to my kids today, and none of them seen this movie. None of them.
Did they hear about the movie?
Wait. So you're basing the quality of a movie only because of people that have watched it. Like, so many box office failures have been great movies.
I am not basing it off of that. What I am simply saying is this movie does not have an impact on the mass audience. I don't understand how it's #1 unless it's being consumed right now by, say, like millennials who care for animation like we do, or maybe I'm just not talking to enough of a like a select group of folks. Like, I need to widen my
you must increase the power of your study.
But with that said, I just don't think this movie, it did not blow me away. And I don't think anybody and correct me if I'm wrong, if y'all were blown away, you were. I don't think this, I guess we have to I don't want to compare it to Encanto, but that was the last one that came out. The staying power of Encanto is incredible. And it's not only just because of the music.
But like, it's kind of unfair. It's like, comparing Strange World to Encanto. That's,
I can.
like,
They're
no,
two
like,
Disney animated films.
no,
I think you can compare them.
I mean, like, no, yes, but I mean, Encanto was fantastic. Like, it was like blew me out of the water because I didn't expect it to do that.
Right.
But Strange World, I'm not gonna put it at like top 10 Disney movies. You know, top 10 Disney animated movies. I'm not gonna put it there. I'll be realistic, but I do think that it's getting more hate, and not of you, you know, specifically. It's getting more hate than it deserves.
Well, I don't hate it, and I don't think it deserves.
No,
hate.
I know that I'm not saying that you hate the movie. You know, you have your opinion, and it's fine. But the way, like, at least some of the comments I've seen when it comes to bashing the movie have been kind of superficial, and honestly, it kind of goes a little bit with how strange, like, or un-Disney this movie was in many ways. So, just like the characters, Disney being Disney, and then we see LGBTQ representation there. That's kind of un-Disney. So, like, there's like so many things that I think they screwed the movie in the box office and just like people watching and consuming it, and it's just getting more hate than it deserves. Granted, it's not one of the top 10 movies of Disney, but it's a good movie. It has really good themes. It has animation, of course, is beautiful, and it has really good moments. You know, and very mature themes.
The movie,
I liked it. Yeah, I liked the movie. It's a good movie. I went in honestly.
Let me restate. You really like the movie.
Let me ask you this. How would you compare it to like your other your adventure-esque Disney films? So like your Treasure Planets, your Moanas, kind of like what we were touching on earlier, how like Disney has the adventure film and the musical section, just specifically talking about adventures. So like Atlantis, Treasure Planet, Moana. How would you rank it amongst those Disney films? Wreck-It Ralph.
I liked it more than I think I liked it slightly more than Wreck-It Ralph.
Okay, the first one, both Wreck-It Ralphs?
Definitely more than the second one.
Okay.
Definitely more than the second one. I said I think I liked it a little bit more than the first one, and I liked Wreck-It Ralph. Atlantis for me is just like that's a classic. You know, for me that's like you can't. And Moana is like adventure but musical-ish.
Moana definitely fits.
Yeah,
like both. Yeah,
Moana fits both.
Right. It teeters.
It's a musical adventure. Moana's a musical adventure.
Moana's fantastic. Moana's absolutely amazing. You know, I'm not saying that this is like, oh my god, piece de resistance of Disney, like one of the Disney greats. No. But is it a bad movie? Is it mid? No. Like it's a good movie, a pretty good movie that suffers from poor PR and other things that we can talk about later in the pod.
I will.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I will say this is a film that, kind of going off of Dr. Mondo's point, I had no idea this film was coming out this year until 2 days before it dropped.
Exactly.
I had no idea.
Wait, like, in theaters or before it dropped on Disney Plus?
In theaters.
Like, I actually figured out this movie was coming out because near my apartment, like, you know, some billboards and bus stops, I saw it. That's how I figured it out.
Yeah,
that's how I figured out that this movie was coming out. And then like 3 days before, I saw like a really what the hell trailer when I was like going to the theaters.
I saw a single trailer.
I actually don't think I might have saw one trailer.
I saw one trailer. I think it was like 3 or 4 days before the movie came out because I went to the movies to see something else.
Okay.
And it's like,
okay.
I was like, okay, like the PR that this movie had was terrible, absolutely terrible.
I think we'll definitely go into what our thoughts are after we talk about the movie on why we think this movie didn't succeed. It's definitely a PR nightmare because Disney doesn't want their movies to bomb at the box office, but it's like clearly there was something amiss.
They didn't put that much effort.
Right.
And like, why didn't they put effort?
That's the question. And I feel some of those reasonings may be uncovered if we go into the plot of the film, because there's some deeper meaning in Strange World. I feel like there is. Grandmaster Hoop, do you want to open us up? How are we introduced into the mythos of Strange World? And it's a mythos, damn it.
And mythos, whatever. Okay, listen,
Wow.
I think Strange World does a lot of things right. I think actually this intro was something that I was like, this is cool, this is different. They're going with this kind of like this comic book of the early 20th century aesthetic, kind of like those radio teleplays type of vibe.
Gave up a lot of Indiana Jones.
Vibes. Indiana Jones vibes, like Lone Ranger type of vibes. Just, they're trying to build this idea of it's an adventure. And I think this actually works really well. So we're given, in musical wise too, this is Henry Jackman, who composed the score. The most familiar thing I think y'all might know him from, I know he did I know he did Captain America Civil War, and I think he did Winter Soldier as well. But I know he did Civil War. So yeah, they come open with this dun 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 type of like intro, and we meet Jaeger Clade, the greatest explorer. He's just the pinnacle of exploration, all into one dude. A mountain of masculinity, and we meet his son, Searcher.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal, Dennis Quaid, Searcher, and Jaeger Clade. Searcher clearly not as beefy as Jaeger, so obviously you can tell right now we're gonna have kind of a discrepancy among the two. And what are they doing? What are they searching for? What are they exploring for? Well, Jaeger Clade, the father, is a natural explorer. He wants to get beyond the mountains. That's his big thing. He's done found everything. He done found the city of Avalonia. He's done a lot for it. Now it's time to see what's beyond the mountains. Searcher, he's not an explorer. It's not who he is. He's more interested in science, more interested in kind of the natural going-ons of the world, why things are the way they are, what's going on. And he discovers a plant that gives off its own natural energy. It's electricity. It's basically
unobtainium,
vibranium, whatever you want to call it. It does. It's sustainable energy. And I think they're actually looking for like more resources or something for their city of Avalonia. Or maybe they have to go relocate. So he's thinking, we got to go beyond the mountains. But when Searcher finds this plant, he's like, yo, we should study this. This could be the answer we need versus searching more. And that's where we get the butting of the heads, Jaeger Clade, a man of a man. He's like, no, we got to go. We got to keep searching. We got to go beyond those mountains. He's like, no, Dad, we got to study this plant. And then, the classic, I am not you, Dad. I'm not you. Jaeger Clade, he goes off on his own.
Never seen again.
Meanwhile, they take this plant back, and 25 years later, they got a booming, like, little city.
He revolutionized that entire region.
Yes. This one little plant. They cultivate it. They mass produce it. Pando. What a name, Pando.
You don't like the name? You don't like the name Pando?
It's fine.
Oh, wow. Everything's mid, huh? Everything's mid.
It's just a name.
What a dumb name.
Where did they come with the name Pando? Why not call it Clado? Like, Clade. Look, I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm not
that funny. Is a truly mid name.
It's funny. I'm not complaining about it. It's just funny. It's Pando. Let me ask. There are a lot of Disney films like to tackle the whole son versus father, daughter versus father. Does it work for you here? Is this working for you right off rip? Just this back and forth between the two?
Oh, at least, like we still haven't gotten to that point, about talking to the movie. At first, I was like, okay, this is like typical, what you're describing.
Starts out typical, sure does.
It starts out typical. Do I have a problem with that? No. But I was just okay. Typical son versus dad, blah blah blah. Later on, it does take a little turn that I do like, but we'll
get
further
there.
into that.
We'll get there. Dr. Jace, do you find this to be a typical trend among Disney films?
Yeah,
It is.
I'm not you, Dad. Like it's we've seen. I mean, we've seen it outside of Disney films even. It's just a common trope. But I feel like they do it just a little bit different. With the trope, because I feel like they tackled something that, to my knowledge, I haven't seen too many other stories with this trope tackle. Because there's a whole thing where I'm not you, Dad, but they kind of extend it across generations.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
And
I like that bit
the same thing
about the movie.
And also they add a little element of mirror, mirror on the wall, I am my father after all.
Yes.
Did you just make that up right now?
Of course.
Sure.
That was pretty good. If you made it up right now, I'll give you mad props. That was pretty good. So yeah, it's a common trend we see among films. Let's continue to see if they do anything else with it. So we're 25 years later. Booming Metropolitan, I guess. Searcher is a hero for finding Pando, saves the city. He's now a full-time farmer with his family. He's got his wife Meridian, his son Ethan. Pando does everything you could think of, from making toast to powering your cars. They're living the good life. Everything's going good. I think it's worth talking about the family. I mean, dare I say, we don't really see many interracial families on Disney screen. So to y'all's point, as far as
that's the first thing. The dog they have is a 3-legged dog.
Legend.
And their son.
And their son.
Ethan.
There's a lot of representation.
Yeah,
sure.
like there's a lot of representation. It's not it's not like the classic Disney family.
Right.
It is not the classic Disney family by any means.
I think it's a 21st century family. That's what I like to call it.
And even in the town, like the diversity in the town, like it's compared to a lot of like Disney, what you would expect from Disney. It's like, okay.
I think the cast is quite diverse too. Just look at the kind of the main cast.
It's a breath of fresh air, in my opinion.
Yeah, no. Funny enough, we still have a white lead, which is fine. I'm not mad at Jake Gyllenhaal.
Wait, he's not Persian? He's not white. I've seen that movie.
He ain't Persian, I'll tell you that much.
Persian.
You ask him about it too. Ask about how far that British accent got him in actual Persia. Because that makes sense.
You can't win an ostrich race without ostriches.
We are not going there. We are not going
we
there.
Can.
No, we are not. We are not. No, I think it's cool. Meridian's played by Gabrielle Union. Jabuki. Oh God, I do not know his whole. I think it's Jabuki White.
Jabuki White. Oh,
his son Ethan.
Right. Right.
And he is in real life he's openly queer. I think he's do not quote me. I think he's gay. And yeah, okay. I think this was worth talking about as far as, many times he's openly queer. Okay, he's openly queer.
Ethan is?
He identifies as gay. All right, I just found it right here.
You mean the actor? The actor,
Jabuki
Okay.
Young White. Jabuki Young White plays Ethan.
Okay.
They cast him And he's not just playing Ethan, he's playing Ethan. Ethan is openly queer in the movie. He doesn't necessarily identify in the movie, but he's openly queer. And I think it's worth talking about as far as there's been a string of how many headlines did we get? Oh, it's Disney's first openly gay character. And then it just be like, I don't know, like somebody hugging someone and like gay, or it'd be like a kiss on the cheek.
You mean for this movie or other films?
For other Disney movies.
Okay.
Do you remember just kind of the brief?
No, yeah. I remember like with Frozen, the shopkeep from the innkeeper.
Yes,
whoever.
the innkeeper. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like he's the first one, and it's just like you have to scrap up the crumbs off the floor.
You have to pause the movie to confirm.
Right.
It's true, and it's just like, don't do that to people.
It's so subtle. It is so subtle.
It's annoying.
This one is like, it's in your face, like it's there. But I kind of like how they did it here. They just made it seem like a natural.
It's very natural.
Yeah, like
the entire
no one's freaking out. No one's saying like, "Oh my God, Ethan, really?" And then they have to
and like
tackle bigotry.
Searcher is very like, oh, like seeing Ethan's crush. He's like, oh, I see him. It's like, you know, just like a normal dad.
Searcher doesn't even like. That's what even Clay Yeager later on.
He doesn't care.
Movie, I was thinking like, oh, here we go. It's the older generation. He's gonna be like,
he doesn't care.
I thought you were talking about. No, he's just like, oh yeah, cool, man. Let me tell you some pickup lines or something. They just treat it like any other relationship
because that's how we should treat it.
Exactly.
But I like the way Strange World did it.
No, they do it right.
Because I see one of the complaints with this movie is oh, you know, they only mention it in the beginning and they never mention it again. It's terrible. And it's like, it's not a love story though.
It's not his story, right? Exactly.
Yeah, and it's not about that. And so I like that there are no characters in the movie that are shocked or like, you know, they're saying, what, Ethan, I thought you were talking about a girl. None of that. They just treat it like any other normal relationship. And I think I think the film should be commended for that, because typically in films that do things like this, it's always like a spectacle whenever someone comes out.
It's as Dr. Rika puts it when we talked about Stranger Things, you know, talking about the character of Will Byers. You can have queer characters, but not give them queer-based stories. You know, just let them be queer and move on.
Yeah, like you don't. Right. It's what Dr. Jace is saying. You don't need to make it a spectacle. You don't need to make it a spectacle. And not like, you know, it's normal. Like it's real life. You know. There are queer people around, you know, they can be queer, and they can, not everything has to revolve around that. It's like, it can be part of the story, and it can just flow into the story, into whatever's happening. And that's it. It's like, it shouldn't cause like, oh my God, oh wow, he came out of the closet. No, he's queer.
Exactly.
That's it.
I mean, if they want to tell that story,
exactly,
they can.
Exactly.
I just like that they didn't need to, like, my favorite thing about this movie and with that element is that you could literally change Ethan's orientation to, like, you know, if he's like a heterosexual, and it will not change a single thing about the movie.
No, it won't.
It won't change anything. And I like that, because it's
it
like,
might change Diazzo to Diazza.
Oh, I mean, yeah, they'll change her like into a girl, sure.
You know, his sexual orientation, you know, doesn't change anything in the movie.
No, it does.
It's him as a character, but it's not part of the overarching plot of the movie.
Right. And I think moving forward, you know, this is for Disney. I think you can learn a lot from this film. You can just have, you know, multifaceted characters and not have their character be so much part of the story. Just allow them to be characters, and that's all it needs to be. And they did. I commend them too. Again, that's why I say this movie is not. I never called it mid.
It's
this
mid.
Movie has, no, this movie has strong things. Now, I did have a conversation with my long lost brother as far as about, like, you know, I don't want to give them all the praise for this because I feel they should have been doing this a long time ago. But hey, they finally did it. We're here. Hopefully it continues after this point, you know. But yeah, definitely worth mentioning. He's got a crush on Diazzo. And as y'all said, Searcher is just, hey, Diazzo, he talks about you all the time. This is a freaking goof, man. Very goofy-esque. Very goofy-esque.
Actually, yeah, that was a lot of Gook and Max vibes. Wow.
Oh my goodness. I will save this for the end, but I was just reminded of how I could make this movie better. I will save it for the end.
Wow.
Ooh, let me stop. Okay. So everything's good.
Typical
in the neighborhood.
Grandmaster Hoop response. I could have written this one better.
No. When you hear it, my family heard me on this and they said, "Shut up, Ethan. You're stupid." But maybe if I tell some intellectuals.
Wow.
Maybe you'll understand. Let's move forward. Searcher, he's pushing Ethan to be a farmer. Ethan is very impressionable, very young, doesn't know what he wants.
I don't want to be a farmer, Dad. You don't understand me.
Pando's boring, Dad. I hate Pando.
Oh my God, they might as well have done a scene like that. Just he knocks like a barrel of Pando on the floor. I hate Pando.
You care more about Pando than your family.
In a worser film, yes. Yes, they would have done something.
They did
I kind of wanted them to do it now. I want to laugh. I want it to exist.
It's fine. It works. It's okay. So Pando is on the outdo. Pando is running low on energy.
Get on with it.
Pando is dying out. We have the Pando dying out. The president, Callisto, played by the great Lucy Liu, says, "Hey, Searcher, you found Pando way back when. You're a clade, so you're a natural explorer. We got to figure out what's going on with the Pando. Get your shit. Let's go. Let's go find out what's going on with the Pando." And that kind of is leading to our big adventure. We got to find out what's going on. Ethan wants to come along. Dad says no. Obviously, we know the whole family's here for the ride. Ethan stows away, brings the dog Legend. Mom, Meridian, comes, and she ends up becoming the pilot for the giant ship called the Venture. And now we're entering a sinkhole that has taken us deep into the planet to find out what's going on with Pando. For me, this is where I start to become bored. We've seen this before.
Until the rest of the movie, or just this segment?
Just kind of the setup. The whole kind of, our world is dying. We got to go figure out what's going on. Well, we've seen this before, I feel. This very Moana-esque. Moana has to go save Matanui because all the fish in the reef are not coming.
It's a quest. It's a quest, but like the quest does take a little turn at one point that I do like where they go with it. Like
I'm not a fan of the setup though. I'm not like sure we've seen this setup so many times.
No, yeah, I can give you that for sure. But just criticizing it because they're trying to say the world. It's like it is a quest. That's the general premise. Granted, the setup could have been better. Yeah,
let's go save the world, Dad.
But
wow,
I'm just one. That's one thumbs down. That's the first thumbs down from me this time.
I will admit, at this point in the movie, I was pausing it a lot to do other things, like if I was gonna go cook or if I was gonna go do like the movie didn't have me like, oh, I'm locked in. I'm not getting out of my seat yet. This part was like, all right, I'm gonna watch like maybe 15 minutes, pause, watch another 15 minutes, pause.
Damn, you doing all these 50-minute intervals.
I mean, it wasn't like a consistent thing, but just to piggyback off what you're saying earlier, you're like, oh, it's kind of tropey. I kind of noticed that. I'm like, yeah, I've seen this before. I'm not invested yet.
Yeah, and I'm also getting the vibes. I'm getting Atlantis vibes. It's getting, big ship, big journey, going under, Atlantis went under the sea.
This movie,
going into the earth.
This movie gave me, like, it was trying to be Atlantis at some point. That I did get.
Less on a serious note.
Here, like
Say again?
Oh, actually, no. Never mind. I was thinking of Treasure Planet. Never mind.
Well, I get Treasure Planet vibes too. Treasure Planet.
Yeah.
These are adventure stories that I feel, for me, those ones had a lot more spectacle that really kind of reels you in. I don't think you'd be pausing Treasure Planet if you were watching that all the way through.
Right.
Kind of the same thing with Atlantis. Atlantis was big on spectacle. However, this film is more, I think, character driven than it is spectacle driven. For sure. So they're going along down, they get attacked by creatures, and we get our first kind of separation. Ethan ends up like falling off, Searcher falls off, and it's like, okay, we gotta regroup. Let's go regroup. Oh, and the ship crashes too. Let's go regroup. They're fending off all these creatures. Let's start with really quickly with Ethan. He meets Splat, your cute what do you call it? Your cute marketable character
friend.
The one that's gonna sell
the merchandise.
The merchandise character.
The merchandise.
Yes.
Right.
Splat's cool. I mean, if you want to talk about inclusivity, I guess Splat is, using sign language the whole film to get his points across.
Oh, ASL? Okay.
Yeah, okay. It's not ASL.
I didn't think it like that, but sure.
It's one way you can look at it. Sure. He's cute. He's there. Searcher, his, I guess, story is a little more interesting at this point. He's about to be attacked by these creatures, and he's saved by this shaggy, hooded figure with a flamethrower.
Was it mysterious for you?
No, obviously not. No, the trailer gives this away too.
There was a trailer?
Yes.
The trailer gives this part away.
Yeah. Did you ever think he was dead?
Yeah.
I did. He never came back for 25 years.
So you really thought he was gone? What's our thing, man? If you don't see a body,
that's my One Piece rule. That's not straight.
Oh, come on. That fits. That goes like. Did you ever see Obito get crushed by the other half of the rock?
First off, you did not think it was Obito, but that's another conversation for another day. I will roast you on that pod.
Okay. Obito, Toby, Obito.
Don't.
Fine,
but,
different.
But yes, I knew it was Jaeger. Yeah, it was obviously Jaeger.
It's Jaeger Clay. Jaeger Clay's here. He's alive. 25 years later, he's just been out in this wilderness, and he's been surviving, trying to get over to the mountains. He sees Searcher. He doesn't even believe it's Searcher. He thinks he's gone crazy, rightfully so.
Yeah, I thought at first they were gonna go the whole like memory, like amnesia bit with because then at that point I'm like, oh wow, that's really the dad, but he hasn't been around for 25 years. Maybe he forgot that he had a family and he's been feral since then.
Oh, like reverted back.
Back. Yeah, he's like decked out in like, a hide, kind of like Kratos from Ragnarok. He's one with the wilderness a little bit. I don't know where he got that flamethrower from, but
I think he made it. He made it. I'm pretty sure.
What's it running on?
Yeah, that's
Pando.
Oh, right.
He didn't know what Pando was.
Yeah, no, he doesn't know what Pando is. You're right.
Oh my god.
I mean, I'm glad they didn't. Obviously, again, the story they're trying to tell is just kind of let's overcome our generational gaps and trauma.
Right.
We get some cool sequences of them chasing and running from the creatures, and they eventually all regroup, and everybody's like, "Oh, yo, Jaeger Clay, it's Jaeger Clay, he's here." Okay, see, and again, I think there are some things that really work. I think, they brought Searcher along, and Searcher was like, the one who was gonna get them out of this situation. now Jaeger Clade's here. Everybody is now remembering the greatness that is Jaeger Clade. And it's a clash of ideals, you know, a clash of the adventuring versus the, I don't know, the sustainability, you know, and then also a clash of ideals of fatherhood and what it means to be a father. Jaeger Clade's getting all this praise, and yet, hello, he abandoned his family for 25 years. Ain't nobody clocking him for that, you know?
Do you think he deserves it?
What do you think?
Well, in his world, what, he got trapped, right?
Oh, is that no? That's not why he didn't come back, right? I mean, he was trapped,
he
said
could
it.
not leave.
He said that he could not leave.
but he also went ahead.
He did went ahead. Yes, he did. He initially told Searcher, I'm gonna keep going, and then
he put his quest over his family.
Right.
Simple as that.
And I think that, again, it's a very character-driven movie. I think watching that kind of play out, you know, Searcher holding on to that kind of, you know, grudge, more or less, against his father for leaving this whole time, but also trying to understand what drives his father, I think works really well. And then I think probably what works the best, though, is now it's grandpa versus dad for Ethan's attention.
Right. You get these little segments where, like, whenever, like, Ethan is bonding with his granddad and
Searcher comes in it, like
Searcher come in and he sees it, and then he starts imagining, like, Ethan as his dad, like he'll grow the mustache.
Oh, those are good. Those are good.
Those were funny because he's like, I'm gonna abandon you, dad. Those were funny. I like that.
Those were
really
clever.
good.
I give him those. Those are probably the most funniest parts. Yes.
No, and it's like, again, he has this resentment towards his father, one, because of like all the abandonment, like his father freaking abandoned him for something totally intangible as going beyond the mountains. And really, like, great adventure, horrible father. And like, he's afraid that, oh my God, my son is gonna end up just like him. It's that fear. And also, there's also, like, throughout the movie, like, parts that's like Searcher kind of also wants his dad's approval, because he really never got it.
Oh yeah, for sure. He wants that affirmation that it's like, okay being a farmer. It's okay.
No, it's like, I want you to be proud of me.
Yeah.
Like throughout the entire movie, it's like, I want you to be proud of me. But both of them, and this is what I like of the movie. The movie very, like, it just flows into kind of putting Searcher, again, Searcher hates his father, you know, like, has all this resentment in the world for his father, yet he is being exactly the same as his father.
I saw that coming.
No. I know, like, but the way they did it, it was just flowing.
No, it was good. It was good.
It was really good. It was like, it was expected, but I liked the way they did it.
Well, yeah, I think what works really is so much that Searcher obviously is not his dad. He's not him physically. He's not him in, you know, motivation. He's not him in, you know, interest. And he thought that was enough to not make him his dad. And there's even a scene too when they start rekindling their father-son relationship that Ethan and Meridian are watching from the window, and Ethan comments like, yeah, he doesn't even realize he's just like him.
Exactly. Like, they have the same pose and everything.
Right.
I think it's that they have the same pose, the same way, and they're identical.
Yeah, and then, like, they both are so strong-willed about what they want that they
clash.
Don't. Yeah, but they don't realize they're, in that sense, they are one and the same.
Yeah.
Yes. I think a lot of the characterization works for me in this film. I think it is the spectacle that does not work.
Wow.
But here, let's talk about this. I think this was a really key scene. And if you either could have put everything you need to know about this movie from this scene, or you just went over your head. When they start playing the card game, Primal
Ooh.
Outpost.
Primal Outpost. I like
Yeah.
this scene. This one was pretty good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think it was great. Because at the heart of it, it's like the clash of ideals, as we've been saying, and then the boy has all the answers if you just listen to him. You know?
Yeah.
But
Who's
they
the
all want to
bad
do
guy?
their own thing. They all want to. What Jaeger wants to kill everything in sight, like an explorer, like kill all the creatures, burn all the trees, and
Well, I
everything.
think the first thing he plays, he's like, "It's a demon spider. What do we do? Kill it!"
And what did Searcher do? What was his thing?
Oh, God,
Was it just farming, or like what was he doing in the game? Because he was equally as guilty.
Yeah, no, they were both bad. I don't know, but it was like, that's not the
And-
point of the game, y'all. It's not the
Yeah,
point.
and like like Ethan's trying to explain it to them, and they just don't let him at all.
Right.
Because
He
the
has
way
the
they
answer.
he has the answer. The way they view everything is so different, like generational, and also, again, they're both stubborn as hell. They see the world in their like. They have their own way of seeing the world, and like that's their way, and only their way. And again, it just goes to prove that they're very different, but at the same time identical. And like everything Searcher is criticizing of his father is exactly what he's doing, and he doesn't even notice it. The same way that Jaeger Clay doesn't realize what the hell he's doing to Searcher.
No, absolutely. And you know, as they play the game, okay, he says he wants to throw masonry stones after it.
What Searcher does? Searcher.
Yeah, the spider shows I throw masonry stones at it. And so, you know, he explains the game and he says, you know, we're not supposed to kill anything. We're supposed to find ways to live in like harmony with nature. Because he's like, okay, you killed the spiders, but now nothing is here to stop the locusts. You know, so
Right.
you screwed yourself. And then, well, and he's really he's saying too, like, you know, y'all are not in harmony. Y'all are not in sync. So you're screwing me, the next generation. You know, who am I to look to guidance if all y'all want to do is farm and explore? Y'all need to sync up so this can stop. Thematically wise, that works really well for me. Because again, the game is only mentioned like twice. And it's not,
yeah,
it's not shoved in your face or anything like that.
It's very subtle.
Yeah, it's so subtle. It's like
It's very subtle.
if you didn't get it from the two scenes, then you missed it.
Yeah.
I like that.
I did. It was a good instrument to kind of like reflect on for like what the story was trying to tell. And at that point, if you didn't get it, it's like, how else do they need to beat you over the head with it? He's literally telling you the plot of the story.
Well, literally, and you know, after this game, after they failed the game, you know, that's when we kind of, they start bonding again. But then, I mean, for me, watching this, from here, I knew exactly the moment. So the creatures start coming.
I call BS on this.
No, I knew it.
Major BS.
I knew it. I knew exactly what.
Go ahead. What did you know? Like, I predicted this from the beginning. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I you know, I don't have my notes with me right now, but I promise you, I wrote these notes in the theater.
What did you
go
predict?
ahead.
So the creatures are coming at them again. One, they get past all these other places in the strange world, the Valley of the Wind, the acid lake. They get past all these things. And then when the creatures start coming at them again, as they're getting closer to the core of Pando, the creatures bypass them. They go right past them. And they go to the core of Pando. Pandora. See? Come on. They're not original.
Pandora what?
Avatar. I was Avatar reference.
Okay, so
All right,
what did
Nino,
you
irrelevant,
think?
irrelevant.
did you hear this? They're referencing Avatar.
It's irrelevant, but it just made me think. Okay, it goes past
Goodness.
them and starts attacking the pando, and I'm like, they're white blood cells. They're white blood cells.
I knew that everything was like a living thing when I saw the land of wind or whatever. Those are lungs. Those
Yeah.
are
Land of
those are
Wind.
yeah. It's like those are how
They went through like a really windy spot.
Yeah,
I think
those-
there was a montage where they went through a couple of places.
I was
It
like,
was really
these
quick.
are lung air sacs. They're like, and I was like, oh yeah, forget it.
Dr.
like-
Mondo's showing why they call him a doctor.
I was like, yeah, it's like this is a living thing. Forget this.
And
Makes
that's
sense.
where everything starts to make sense now. At least to the viewer. Again, I think it's really obvious for the viewer at this point. Because none of the creatures even look remotely like a creature. They're all blobby. They're all expressionless.
Well, speaking of the creatures, I think that's something that should be talked about itself because I think they did a pretty good job kind of like designing these
Yeah.
strange and whimsical creatures because I mean the film is called Strange World, so you want to be immersed in a world that looks rather strange. I think they did a pretty good job designing all these weird ass creatures just walking around. Like one of them you had like some brontosaurus looking thing that like spreads the spores around to regrow or heal stuff.
Yep.
You got the cloudy jellyfish looking things that I think they tried to touch earlier, and thank God they didn't die from that. I think the design is really cool on a lot of these animals that are just, well, I mean, they're not animals, but I thought the design team for making this world as strange as possible did a really good job.
Yeah.
And then in knowing that it's just part of a body, now that makes it even more cool because it's like, oh, like Osmosis Jones, we're inside of a creature. That's cool. There's the white blood cells. There's Ozzy and Drix, surfing on a.
Wow, you could make a direct comparison to Ozzy and Drix and Strange World if you really want to.
You can.
What is the better film to teach you about the body and
Ozzy and
taking care
Drix.
of it?
Yes, Ozzy and
Or-
Drix.
Or Cells at Work. That anime so it really
Oh, I
is.
don't know that
educational.
one. I don't know that
It's
one.
it's on Netflix. It actually is pretty freaking accurate.
Interesting.
Interesting. I'm gonna tell you this, and y'all might disagree. Well, two things. I was unimpressed by the creatures.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Wait,
As
well,
you-
like in what way? Like unimpressed? Like
I
they
didn't think
look
that is. I didn't think that this.
strange
I didn't
enough?
think. I didn't think the design was cool enough.
Wow.
I didn't think the world itself. I didn't think we spent again. I think it's a big character study. We spend so much time with these characters. I feel everything else is eye candy, and if you pay attention to it, you'll like it. But we don't spend enough time here, so
I agree.
I wasn't.
I agree partially. Like I liked the designs a lot, but I do agree that it felt at times that it was eye candy, and we really don't experience and immerse ourselves in the world.
Yeah, I feel we
Like,
spend more time
so-
on the ship.
Exactly. That I do
Right.
agree with you. Like the designs are freaking amazing, but they don't make the most out of it.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of the times, the way you experience the creatures, they're like as you said, you're on the ship and they're kind of just like looking around, or the camera is doing a montage, like just going across the landscape. They're not really.
Yeah, we really
doing
don't see
anything.
the strange world. We don't experience the strange world. We
And-
can
Oh, go ahead, finish. Go ahead.
yeah,
finish.
we don't really experience it fully. We just kind of see photos of it.
Yeah. And when I'm talking, and that's why I was talking about, with these other adventure films, like with the spectacle aspect, I think this film, for me, loses me a bit when it comes to spectacle. Atlantis was beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Beautifully designed, but not to mention they had a great action sequence with the Leviathan. Treasure Planet, beautifully designed. Great use of 2D and CGI. And then you had scenes like the supernova going off, or like when Treasure Planet was like imploding and whatnot. Really cool spectacle. Obviously, those two films lack a lot of characterization, if you ask me. But they nailed the spectacle.
This
I don't know
movie tried to sell itself as an adventure when it really was just kind of like, again, coming for one of the characters, a coming of age, and the other, and like another character, father,
coming
father,
to terms.
like grandfather, like coming to terms, kind of like a story of, to a certain, like, yeah, redemption and forgiveness.
Yeah.
Like, it really is a character story. Strange World is a character story, and it does a great job in the character aspect. It does a fantastic job, but it sells itself as something completely different.
Right.
And that disconnect, I'm pretty sure, is to a certain extent what could have screwed the movie. Oh, and that kind of goes with the lack of PR.
We'll get to the PR. Dr. Jace, though, do you feel it was spectacle enough for you? Would you use the term spectacle for, you're talking about? Actually, my second thing real quick, when it was revealed that, the big twist, then I was a little less hard on the creatures because I felt it made sense why their designs were not as intricate. But do you feel
was your thing that you didn't think that the designs were good, or that we didn't experience?
So I guess
like
two things. I didn't think the designs were that great up until the twist. When the twist is revealed, then I'm like, okay, I'll give the designs a pass. But I do feel, as Dr. Mono and I have been saying, there wasn't spectacle with the Strange World. Do you feel the Strange World was spectacle enough for you?
Like in terms of design, or?
I mean, just in overall, talking about being immersed.
Like I don't feel like there was a lot of it, because you have that initial scene where like Searcher falls off the ship, and like he falls on like the ground, and it's like bouncy and whatnot, and you have Jaeger, the grandfather, like burning through, I don't know what you want to call it, the grass, I guess. It's not grass, but
let's call it the cell membrane.
The cell membrane. He's burning through it with his flamethrower. And I was thinking, okay, maybe the rest of the movie is like Jaeger and Searcher kind of like rebonding, but as they make their way back to the ship, they have to survive the wilderness of the Strange World, right? But they didn't do that. Like, they very quickly rejoin with the rest of the crew, and then it's kind of like what you guys said, they get back on the ship, and from there it's kind of like, ooh, look at all that strangeness out there. They didn't really like jump down and really go into the Strange World. I still like the designs even before the twist. I don't know, there's something simple about them that I liked, and the fact that everything else, like the backdrop, the way the trees looked, they're not trees, damn it, but what else do you call it?
They're cell walls. They're cell walls.
The cell walls, the mitochondria walking around.
They're ligaments.
The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
The powerhouse. Like, I liked all that stuff, and then when the twist came that, oh wow, this is a living creature, that made it even more special, because I'm like, oh my god, that makes sense. The things that they were riding, like kind of like in my background, like over here, that trail,
veins, they were the veins.
They were like the red blood cells.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah.
That was cool. I was like, oh, that makes so much more sense. I like that. The tentacle creatures that were just attacking everything that they came into contact with, those were the white blood cells. They're meant to protect the body.
You talking to a white blood cell here?
Was that your Chris Rock impression?
It's a terrible Chris Rock. It's a terrible Chris Rock. I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness. Not my suedes.
Wow, that's a deep cut from Osmosis Jones. Wow.
Ooh,
very good.
Don't get me started. But yeah, no, I liked it. I liked it from the perspective of the designs were cool, and then I liked the twist, like, oh, it's a body. I wish they could have explored a little bit more. Yeah.
Let's get into the twist. So they're coming upon it. Ethan does not want to kill these creatures.
No, Dad.
Right. Jaeger says, screw this. The mountains, they're right there. I'm going.
Right.
So Ethan doesn't want to attack the creatures and whatnot. They have a falling out, very brief, and they go off on the little scooter, and it takes them outside, and it is revealed. They see the ocean. I'm like, what the hell is the ocean doing here? There go the mountains my dad was trying to get over. What are they doing here? That's a giant eyeball. What's that doing here? It's a giant eyeball. It's a creature. They live on the back of a creature, and they've been inside the creature this whole time. Pando is attacking this creature like a virus. Pando's gotta go. Because
but it's our only resource for energy.
We'll find another resource. Something more sustainable, something renewable, and something that doesn't damage the place we call home.
Is this a meta commentary on
you tell me if it's a meta
our
commentary.
world? How strange is our world? Ooh.
We're destroying our world from the inside because we keep using this resource that's destroying it. You tell me if it's a meta commentary. All right, here's one thing I did not like about this film.
Another thing.
This random mutiny that happens.
Oh
unnecessary.
my god! Oh my god! Can I tell you something? Can I tell you something?
The mutiny was kind of dumb.
The mutiny was hella dumb. But let me tell you, I called a mutiny happening for a while.
Oh yeah, it was predictable, but they did a shitty job.
There was something about the Lucy Liu character where I was like, she is a little too badass for her own good. I feel like she's gonna do something. And you know what? You know who she reminded me of from another sci-fi adventure film?
Ooh, Silver?
John
Silver? Treasure Planet?
No.
Oh, Rourke!
From what?
Atlantis.
No. Other animated movie. Come on, same era. Come on. There's really not that many.
A mutiny, a betrayal.
Not Disney. Not Disney. Come on.
Oh God, a mutiny? I don't know.
A mutiny, yes.
Non-Disney.
Titan AE.
Okay.
Titan AE.
Actually, okay. Okay.
I barely remember that movie.
Okay, so Lucy Liu's character. Do you remember the guy that portrayed the crew in Titan AE?
Yes, Corso. Bill Pullman's character. Yeah.
Right. Corso betrays the crew. Spoiler alert for a 20+ old movie. Yes. So Corso, but then Corso at the end of it, he's like sees the error of his ways, and he's like,
maybe we can save the Earth, kid.
Let me help. So with Lucy Liu's character, I'm thinking from the beginning, I'm like, she is too badass, just like Corso. I feel like she's gonna betray the crew at some point. I don't know. I see it. Bam, mutiny. And you know what else? I'm like, you know what she's gonna do? She's gonna betray the crew, mutiny, whatever, and then she's gonna come back and be like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe we can save this strange world." What do you know?
And it was such a quick turnover.
Yeah, that really frustrated me.
They should have thrown them overboard. The Meridian and the dad and everyone, they should have thrown them overboard. How dare they? We think that you're not in the right state of mind, so we're gonna lock you up. Excuse me? What? You brought me on for my expertise on Pando, and I'm telling you literally that this thing is a living creature, and you're like, nope, we're not doing that. Nope, absolutely not. Nope. We need Pando.
And
I'm telling you, we don't. Get in the brig. To the brig.
To the brig. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
then
What
again,
what an awkward flight back after the movie.
But it didn't take them to reconvince them that they were right. It was like not even a scuffle. It just
it was just like such a quick turnaround that it was like, did this really hold any significance?
It was Meridian just swerving around like a maniac on the ship and slamming, I keep forgetting her name, Lucy Liu's character across the cockpit.
and
That's
then she says, "Look, we're killing it.
I see now.
I see you."
Ew, no. Nino is furious. Stop.
I'm sorry.
No,
I'm
he's
sorry.
he's not furious. He's already seen that movie 4 times.
He'll be all right after the 5th. He'll be okay.
That's
But yeah, just very unnecessary. Just didn't need it. We did not need the third act twist of a giant turtle was enough. We did not need this villainous plot because as Ethan said,
mm-hmm.
there are no bad guys. There are no bad guys here. And I was like, oh, but now they're bad guys. Please don't make them bad guys. Stick with your theme. So thankfully it was easily stuck to Searcher. Then he's like, okay, I gotta break open the heart so the creatures can get to it and we can be rid of the Pando. He's struggling. We see Jaeger Clade finally makes it out, but he turns back and he says, you know, this is not my legacy. Over those mountains are not my legacy. You're my legacy. That was good.
Did you cry?
No,
absolutely not.
Wow.
That was really a don't be sorry, be better.
Be better.
Moment.
For sure.
Look at that.
But I'm trying to think of a moment where Kratos was like kind of like saying sorry to you know, whatever. It was a good moment. I think that was deserved. It felt earned. It didn't feel forced.
Right.
After
like the mutiny.
The mutiny was
right.
forced.
The mutiny was very forced.
It was hella forced, right?
It was just there to create tension and drama.
Yeah, no, literally. It's a plot.
We need to extend this movie by another 10 minutes. Quick, what do we do? Mutiny.
And let's just put him behind the door where the invertebrate character can easily slip out and unlock it for them if anybody uses their brain.
I was just like, how long is it gonna take them to figure out that this?
Yeah, when they were asking for the dog's help, I'm like the little flubber looking thing, and
I'm like, how long is it gonna take them?
Dummies.
And even the white blood cell was like, y'all are stupid, and just like goes on his own and opens the door.
Just unnecessary.
It's like y'all are stupid.
Just unnecessary.
Ridiculous.
So father and son break open the cells, save the heart. The heart starts beating again. I guess this turtle was holding its breath the whole time, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, what? When the heart stopped?
When it starts beating. Well, when it starts beating, it's beating. Like beating. Right. So it's like, was he holding his breath? Was he not breathing this whole time? I don't know.
Sinus pause.
Day saved. Turtle is saved.
You didn't think there was gonna be a fake out moment in that sequence when
with the heart?
Yeah, when because they cracked off the Pando, the source, and then the heart wasn't starting. I thought they were gonna take a dark route, like, oh wow, they did everything they could to save the planet. And again, I thought that was gonna be even more of a meta commentary, because trying to save the planet in the real world, we're always saying, oh, we only got a certain amount of time left, we got to do it now, act now, don't wait. So I thought maybe they didn't save it in time and they were gonna have to live off of, I don't know, just some other resource but their lives were gonna be miserable because now the planet is dead. But they didn't go that direction.
That's a dark route for Disney to go. They said we already introduced an environmentally friendly story. We introduce queer characters. We introduce interracial couples. Well, that's enough for now. We'll do it in our next film. What do you want from us? They said, it's too much. They said, back up.
The heart does start beating. Yeah.
The heart starts beating. From here, we're in an epilogue. Ethan, he is chosen. He's kind of like a farmer and an adventurer.
Yeah,
now.
he's basically both in one.
Yeah, because he's out here like looking for new resources, looking for a new sustainable whatever. They're exploring the strange world. Now they're actually exploring the strange world.
Right.
You know. And so he's chosen that life. Jaeger has got some catching up to do. He's missed 25 years of his son's life. So like he's living with Searcher and Meridian.
Tries to get back his ex-wife.
That was funny.
That was funny.
Sheldon. I hate Sheldon.
He's like, you don't even know him. I always hated the name. This is good. This is good. Sheldon looks like a nice dude.
He does. He's bigger. He's bigger than Jaeger. So
very Castaway, that scene. Very Castaway.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah. And then they're living together. They're tossing a tomato between each other.
Did they have they had electricity like at the end of it, because it was like
they did.
I don't know how though.
I saw wind. I saw turbines.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking it was like wind based.
Yeah, because I was like, this would be like really fucking funny. It's like, we saved the turtle, yippee! And now like back to the dark ages.
Back to the dark ages.
They have to consume each other.
Get your torches and your candlesticks. Light them up.
Oh man.
That would have been something.
I would have been like, damn, that's dark, but I would have just started laughing.
Disney said, that's enough. That's enough now. We gave you everything you wanted. We did it in a nice little story.
I mean, you get that moment where like they pan out, like they start zooming out from the city, and then and then you see the turtle, the back of the turtle, and then you see the turtle like just going around an emptyless world. Like it's just water everywhere.
Empty. And absolutely empty, right?
I kind of like that.
You mean to tell me he's the only turtle on this world?
No, I'm kind of waiting.
We didn't see the other side.
No, but I'm kind of waiting for all the theories that are gonna come out. Prepare yourselves. The theories are gonna come out saying like, "Oh, yo, this world," and they're gonna try to connect it to all the other Disney movies, and they're gonna be like, "Yo."
Oh, I hope not.
Oh, is that the end of the timeline?
Like a timeline.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yes.
I'm waiting for those theories to come up because they're gonna come out.
It's the Wind Waker of the Disneyverse. You know, because the gods of the Disney mythos,
they sunk Hyrule beneath the waves.
Yes, they sunk everything in the Disneyverse.
Terrible. I really.
Ooh, how much you want to bet? How much you want to bet?
No, absolutely not.
You have no idea how far these conspiracy theorists will go on this.
I'm sure they could take it there, but goodness gracious. Where the hell did this turtle come from?
It's just the landmass. It was always the landmass.
Like I already saw like the title of one YouTube video. Is Strange World a sequel to Moana?
Ooh,
Stop.
I told you.
No.
I told you no.
No. I'm stopping it right there. Enough.
Wow.
Enough from the clown. Yeah, no. I mean, people can try. By all means, they can try.
It makes sense.
They can try.
It's just a theory.
There are layers to this onion.
All right, so there's layers to this turtle. How about to this turtle? All right. We've picked apart this movie. Anybody looking to change their final thoughts? I'm leaning more now towards, because if you really do look at it as a character piece, I do enjoy it a lot more. as a character piece, think it's really missing spectacle.
Yeah, because the movie the movie tried to sell itself as an adventure to try to get more, maybe like again more viewers. I don't know, but it really isn't an adventure. It's just a character journey, like introspective journey.
Yeah.
That by chance they're in this strange world that we really don't take a deep dive into it in the movie. Granted, like I say, like if the movie would have explored the world more, this movie had like the potential to be amazing if they would have explored the world more. But I think it's a little bit hard to kind of balance. Like if they were really leaning to a character piece, it's very difficult for you to balance those two off in an animated movie that, you know, Disney animated movies are not that long.
No, this one clocked in at 102
Hour
minutes.
40? Yeah.
Yeah, 42 minutes. Yeah.
So really, it's like you have limited time. You really do. So they really had to pick as to what are we going to focus on more, and they focus more on the character part, which I liked a lot because they at least like even though they focus more on the character part, ensured we lost a little bit of spectacle. We lost some spectacle with it. They did a really good job with the characters. Like, I really have nothing bad to say with the characters, other than the mutiny thing. Character standpoint, I really have nothing bad to say.
Yeah, no, I agree. The characters were probably the biggest selling point of the movie. I like the characters. I also kind of liked the sustainable agriculture message that they were kind of pushing for. I feel like that's something you don't really see a lot in movies in general, and especially animated movies.
And especially Disney.
Especially Disney, right? It's very anti-Disney.
This movie's it's anti-Disney.
And I mean, I liked it because, you know, on one hand, you have like the old ways of you know, Jaeger. He's like, I'm gonna explore and I'm gonna burn everything in my way while I do it. And then you have, you know, a searcher who's trying to kind of be more of a homebody, a farmer. And he's like, hey, we'll just, you know, live peacefully on our own and just, you know, keep, you know, farming this crop that just keeps growing, and we're going to take advantage of it. But in using it, it's also harming the planet. I think there was a really good message there in trying to be one with nature instead of like trying to sap it for all of its resources. I think outside of the character piece, I liked that element of the story a lot, and that's what kind of pushes it, for me at least, to be more than just an okay Disney film, because it has a very deep meaning, and I can really appreciate it because I was sold. Like, I was about maybe 2/3 of the way into the movie, and I'm like, whoa, they're really going this route. This is interesting with the whole environmentalist approach. Okay, you don't see that a lot, so I wouldn't put it in like, you know, in my top 10 either for Disney films. No. But that's just because, kind of like our Pixar tier list, there's just so many great, like fantastic Disney films. Like in my top 10, it's hard competition. Strange World couldn't squeeze itself in there, but I still think it's a great Disney film. One of the better ones, I think. Yeah.
I think definitely this film is continuing Disney's recent success. I don't think they've really had any misses as of late, even with Pixar as well. So I think they're on a good trend. And as we talked about, you know, story-wise, you know, the story, there are some points where it lacks originality, but if we look at it as a character piece, if we look at it as, you know, design that they're putting into it, I think this film is definitely good. I think it's definitely moving the envelope. And then also with the portrayals and depictions of, you know, whether it's interracial, LGBTQ, environmentally friendly stories.
To a certain extent, disability because of the
Yeah,
dog.
even
The dog, Legend.
The dog Legend has three legs.
even so, right. And none of these points are ever so as we said, in your face to where they are part of the plot. They are just part of the characters, and it doesn't even, their character is not their depiction. There's more to that, to the characters than just that. So I guess, the last thing to talk about, unless do we want to give scores real quick? I'm a B. It's a solid B. It's a B.
Solid B.
Yeah,
okay.
I would say it's a solid B, maybe almost getting to a B plus, but yeah.
Yeah, I would. I mean, I go on like the 1 to 10 scale. It's an 8. It's an 8 for me. I liked it. That's the highest I would give it. I feel like 8 for me is being a little bit generous, but I would say 7.
I would say 7.5.
Yeah, 7.5 is probably a more realistic number, but I'm in a good mood today. I'll give it an 8. I'll give it an 8.
You're in a good mood. Good. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, it was good. It was a good film. I think it's worth watching. And yeah. So what did you want to get into performance? Is that
if we talk all this, praise about it, we were not without critique. Box office, it's one of the lowest grossing films of all time, adjusted for budget and just the return. It bombed on this budget is really big. It's 135 to 180 mil.
It's a range, because you have two different sources saying
that's a big budget.
Big.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? Well, it only returns 72 mil. That's low.
That's low.
That's low.
There's a lot of factors that come into play. Hold
on. Let me real quick before I want to give some other numbers. Kind of what we're looking at as of late, because I think this is worth mentioning, and I know Hooper TV and Dr. Rika talked about this in their films of 2022 as far as animation goes. Let's just look back at some of the other Disney animations that were. This was given the theatrical release.
Right.
It was not straight to Disney Plus. But real quick, so Turning Red, 175 mil budget. That has the multi-release. It's theaters and Disney Plus. Return of 20 mil. Very limited though release. It was not playing in every theater. Encanto, straight theatrical release.
Similar to this one.
Yeah. I think it's 40 days it's in theaters and then they put it on streaming. 120 to 150 mil, 256.8 mil return. Not necessarily a bomb, not necessarily blown out the water.
It's nothing too crazy.
Right.
I feel like most of that success came from Disney Plus for Encanto.
Well, Disney Plus and DVDs. Everybody probably ran to go get this stuff, Raya, I think Raya was both theatrical.
I think it was same day, right?
Okay, Raya simultaneously, yeah. Theatrical but limited. But then this was the weird Premier Access one.
The Premier Access saga.
Yeah. This one 100 mil. They really don't got numbers on the budget, but only 130 on the return. And then here I'll stop with Soul. No, Soul was weird. That was straight to Disney Plus.
Yeah, so Soul was straight to Disney Plus.
They didn't know what the hell they were gonna do. And then Onward unfortunately suffered amidst the pandemic.
Onward came out right before.
Right
before. Weeks, right?
Yeah, like literally 175 to 200 mil. Goodness gracious, they dropping money. And then 142 on the return. So those are some numbers. Clearly, from Walt Disney Animation, this is the lowest.
Is it like
Not too-
lowest ever? Like
Not
lowest?
lowest ever. No, I don't. It's
Okay.
not the lowest ever. I'll have to really look up those numbers. I mean, 72 mil. Yeah. I mean, I guess
Still
if you
pretty
adjust
bad.
for inflation, it might be actually one of the lowest.
Right.
I'll really do. We could do a whole nother podcast on kind of box office Disney success. Why do you think this is here? Don't go too crazy now. We need sources. We always tell each other in our chat, we're the source.
No, like first
me
and
the
foremost,
sauce.
like the PR. Like the PR was near non-existent for this movie.
The marketing was
The marketing was
significantly low.
the
Right.
marketing was horrible.
It was something where I thought the film was still in its conceptual phase.
Yeah, like,
I
it
didn't know it existed. I thought like all I remember about it was that backdrop in Dr. Mondo's background. That image of the two characters looking out into the strange world.
This
like
was revealed at a
literally-
Comic-Con, I think, or D23.
literally in November. Like if you rewind back to like the first up until like the first or second week of November, I thought the film was still in this conceptual phase in Dr. Mondo's background. Like that's
Yeah.
I did not think it was nowhere near release.
It's like they really didn't give it the publicity that it warranted. And obviously that for sure impacted the movie. Now, why they didn't give it PR? There
No,
could be
Yeah,
a
the
lot of
why is
things.
where sources are.
no. Like there could be a
I
lot
will
of things.
Put my tinfoil
you know,
hat
like,
now.
I'm not putting like conspiracy. You know, like it could have been just a simple like corporate decision saying like, hey, we got these projects or whatever, and we gotta divide and conquer, divide our resources. You know, which films do we think are gonna be more successful than the other? Blah 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 blah. And they thought that this one was not going to be as successful, so they didn't put that much effort into it. You know, like it could have been just a simple corporate decision.
They did to piggyback off that Disney recently did change CEOs amidst the release of this film.
Yeah.
It went from oh god, who was the previous one? The new one that came in, not new, but like he came back.
Iger, right? Bob
Iger. Bob Iger.
Bob
Right.
Iger's back.
He's back.
Right.
That change, I forgot who the previous one is.
Chapman.
Chap right.
Bob
yes.
Chapman. They're both named Bob. Bob Chapman.
Bob number 1 and Bob number 2. But no, that change literally happened, I want to say in November, that Bob Iger was coming back. So
November 20th, 2022.
there you go. Yeah. So it may as well it could have been that. It could have been that the shifting powers in Disney, and unfortunately it's in the midst of one of their film's big releases.
This film comes out
possible.
3 days later.
Yeah.
After the switch.
Yeah.
Like, you know, this could, like, it could have been like, again, corporate decision. It could have been like corporate unrest due to that. Like if you want to go like way off, and like not saying like could have, but I'm not gonna dive into conspiracy theories. It's, you know, like this is a very un-Disney film, and you know there are things that's like this, like how did Disney say yes to this? And like again, you know, I don't know what goes on there, but it was like it's kind of weird. It's like, wow, this is such an un-Disney film. How did Disney say yes to all this? Unless that maybe the directors took the freedom like crazy, and then Disney saw the final product, and then they were like, "What the heck is this?"
I think. Well, I hate to think that Disney looks at their resources and be like, we don't got enough to market this film.
No, I'm
I
saying
know, but
no,
no,
it's like,
There's no way they don't.
no, like it's
right. I
it's
can't.
not it's not that they don't have the resources. It's just saying like, how can we make more money? Maybe we just put more PR here, more PR, less PR over here. It's like,
But-
it's just like business strategy.
No doubt. I'm just saying. I can't think it's a.
But yeah,
it's
like
an issue of
with all,
we'd rather put money here
or like
because, you know.
there's also there could be agendas inside there. You know, like Disney, there could be agendas.
I think there are agendas. I won't because again, I don't have sources, but
Exactly.
I just,
No, yeah, that's why I'm not like I'm
Where's
not
your sauce?
diving. I'm
I
not
mean,
diving in there.
I will
but
say this. I mean, there are certain global markets that will not play a film depending on characters portrayed in
yeah,
the film. And I know
Yeah.
that definitely factors into a lot of
for sure. It's
Yeah.
like, and we all know what those markets are, and one of them is a huge market.
yeah.
Oh
no.
yes. Wow.
One
that,
of them
that
is
international
a huge
box
market.
office.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. It's like it cannot go without said that they cater to your consumers, but it's like we're in the 21st century, people.
No, yeah, and that's like again, there could have been agendas. I don't have like the sources to tell you this for sure is the reason. Again,
Yeah.
there could be a lot of reasons that come into play. Maybe not even a singular reason. Maybe just a lot of little parts of those reasons just came together and well, this happened.
Sure.
But it's kind of weird. Again, you see this movie and you're like, this is something that I did not expect Disney to do.
Not at all.
And like Disney tends to, and like when I say Disney, I mean like all aspects of Disney, like Disney Pixar, Disney animated,
Right,
MCU. We're going like all Disney. They like when they take their products, they heavily edit it. They like the directors don't have this super freedom to do everything they please. So I wonder if something happened here that the director really just took all the freedom in the world. Then they gave them this product. And Disney was like, how the hell do we change this?
What I think we'll learn over time, because it kind of happened with Turning Red too. I think within the next couple months, because this movie's still fairly new. It only came out in its release was November 23rd, right, in theaters, and then about a month later it came out on Disney Plus. What I think is going to happen is that as the months go on, we're probably going to get some more insider knowledge from like people that worked on the film that maybe could shed some light as to like why certain things weren't done the way they were supposed to, like specifically with the marketing. I know with Turning Red, when that movie came out, there was a lot of people saying that certain characters, came off as queer, but they weren't queer in the movie. So it was like, what happened there? Were certain things left on the cutting room floor? And some people that did work on the movie, whether they were like animators, storyboard artists, whatever, they came out and they said, hey, yes, there were intentions to make this character like, I forget the character's name. Priya.
Was it Priya?
The one with the glasses?
One?
Yeah. Her. Like
Yeah.
she was going to be queer in the movie, but they had to edit that back a little bit. And I don't know if you guys remember the
It's the dance scene. They're dancing.
Right. That dance scene. Apparently, it was supposed to be a lot more than that in the original, I guess, draft or script, whatever you want to call it. So, but the reason why all that stuff came out was because of that legislation that was passing last year. The I don't remember the official name, but people were coining it as like the
anti-gay.
The anti-gay, the don't say gay bill.
Don't say gay, yeah.
That one, yeah. So because that was happening in the real world, people were going back to the films to see like, hey, Disney allegedly is kind of the same way, and they're drawing comparisons saying like, oh, look what they did in Turning Red. And then that's when you got some more insider knowledge as to what happened with that movie. I'm thinking maybe Strange World, we might get something in the next couple months.
Yeah,
maybe.
like there could have been like what I think could have happened. Again, this is just pure conjecture. Like I could be totally wrong. Somehow this movie maybe bypass, like it went like they submitted it, and it was already done and dusted and all that. Like Disney said, like, what the heck? Like saw the finished product. They didn't have time to edit it or anything, and they were just like, we're not going to promote this because like what, it doesn't go with our values or whatever. I don't know. But again, like a lot of stuff could have gone. Maybe maybe they just screwed up. Maybe they just screwed up and that's it. Like no company is perfect. They all make mistakes when it comes. Every big company has a flop.
Yeah, it could just be a simple banana peel on the floor.
Yeah,
they just messed up. They messed up.
They just messed up. But I agree with you. We'll know in a couple of months if they come out and hopefully if they come out and say like, hey, what really happened?
Or someone might whistle blow.
Yeah. Oh, whistleblower. Who? What is Don Hall, the director, gonna come out and be like, they screwed me over?
It can't be Don Hall. Don Hall's just gonna pay somebody else to be like, this person paid me to say this. They signed an NDA. I'm now coming out saying this for them. This is what's happening.
So I actually didn't know this. Don Hall directed Raya and Big Hero 6.
Don Hall's name is in the game. Don Hall,
co-director on Moana too.
Yeah, Don Hall. Disney don't want to lose Don Hall.
They don't. So I don't know. Maybe
they be dumb to lose Don Hall.
Yeah, it won't be from him. He's not gonna whistle blow.
Right.
Maybe.
I think that credibility right there allows him to do a lot of the things he did in this film.
Right. Exactly. So we'll see. I think overall, I think even the reason why we're talking about this is because I don't think the film deserved to bomb this hard at the box office.
It didn't deserve that. Like
it wasn't bad. It's not a bad movie. Not at all. It definitely deserves its flowers, and we'll see if it gets some praise. I mean, it's still early January. Maybe the TikTok trend will start in like the next couple of days. Everyone's
for Strange World.
For Strange World, yeah.
If there's anything, I don't even know. But
as long as they find, I would say, a memeable moment in the movie.
You know what they're gonna do? It's gonna be the Primal Outpost scene, and you're gonna have two opposing factions. Either be fandoms, like you're gonna have the Boruto fandom as the dad and the One Piece fandom as Searcher. They're arguing and bickering, saying like which series is the better of the two, and then here comes Ethan saying, "You're both the bad guys." And then he walks away. There you go. I already made the meme for you.
Wow. Why don't you go make that as soon as we're done here?
I could start it.
You could. You really could.
Start it.
Get on it.
We'll do it. Well, you heard it here
Strange
first.
World popping again.
We will. We'll get on the level of Encanto.
Right.
But I think that pretty much wraps up our thoughts here for Strange World. Overall, great movie. If you haven't seen it and you're subscribed to Disney Plus, give it a watch. I think it's worth your time. You may notice things that we didn't notice. And if you did, let us know down in the comments below, wherever you're listening to us on, whether it be Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, TikTok, at the Yonko Table. If you want to see our gaming shenanigans, check out the Twitch channel at DrJaceAttorney. And let us know your thoughts on Strange World. We really want to see how the fandom is divided with this film. Are there more positives or are there more negatives? Were we too optimistic with this one? I don't know, but let us know what you think down below. That's all that we have for this one, folks. I am your Yonko host, DrJaceAttorney, fellow Yonko Grandmaster Hoop, and Supernova Dr. Mondo. Signing off. Take care. Is there a thing with Strange World that you want to do? Go ahead. You two start arguing. Just start arguing over anything.
Praise
Boruto.
I love Boruto.
Boruto is trash. Naruto's better.
You're both the bad guys.
Well, I was gonna do the Jaeger Clade. That's all I know.
That's the only lyric.
Okay.